often athletes have to retire before they get most of their wisdom, right? Like,
yeah.
It is not normal to feel old at 36. Like, I think I'm going to walk into the next phase of my life and be like, oh my God, I'm young. I've been feeling like a grandma. Like, I thought I was on death's door. Welcome, everybody, back to the recap show. Tobin and I have had a great day today.
Great day.
So the vibes are high, and we are here for red card, yellow card, goal. Away trip edition.
Okay.
Let's start with red cards. Actually, just start with whatever.
Start with whatever. I think red cards would be, for me personally, roommates that talk a lot.
Just roommates. I'm 36. I should not be told I have to have a roommate.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Roommates that police you. I once had a roommate that gave me a hard time for not making my bed. Somebody does that for you.
Roommates for not being you or Bob. Those are my only roommates for the rest of my effing life.
Okay. Roommates that tell housekeeping that we don't need service.
I'm feeling a little bad because Allie Riley is my known roommate. And this is not personal, Allie.
I think that was a lot of red cards.
Yeah, no, there's more. There's
Wait, this is not just roommates.
Oh.
This is red cards on away trips.
No. Eating buffet food in a ballroom, red card. Okay, so
NWSL buffet food, yeah.
when we did the very first episode of TRS and we were at the Silver Lake studio, do you remember this?
Yeah.
And I said, there's 3 things you need to know about me that I hate.
Yes.
Do you remember what they were?
Yes. Buffets?
Yep. Public transportation and heavy lifting.
I didn't know that about public transportation.
Well, it's more like the bus. I hate the bus. I hate it.
Who's putting you on the bus?
I don't know why.
What, you mean like a team bus?
No, not a team bus.
Oh,
Like
I'm
a public
so sorry.
bus.
I'm glad I've never experienced that with you.
Yeah, that's a little outdated. Okay, back to away trips. Yellow cards.
Yellow card. I would say not having to cook or clean for however many days, because there's a little bit of
I was going to disagree, but it is a yellow card.
Yeah.
Yellow cards are still bad.
Not having to think about where you're going to get your food from.
You love that.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it from time to time if they only did a better job. Could be a good goal.
Okay.
Not commuting, but instead riding on a team bus.
I like that. Yellow card is maybe when you get a roommate that you think you're not going to like.
Roommates. No more roommates.
And you end up making a new friend.
No, you can amend that. I'll amend that to spending time with a teammate that you otherwise wouldn't.
I love that.
This
It's a yellow card because it can go either way.
Yeah, it's a yellow card because no one's that cool.
It's a soft yellow.
Goal. Picking up 3 points after a tragically difficult away trip feels even better.
Oh my gosh, that just triggered a red card in me. Going on a 2-week-long road trip and picking up 0 points. It's like, why the did we even go?
Going on a 2-week-long road trip and playing 10 minutes at the end.
That's a hard ride.
End of Diddy.
FanDuel's getting you ready for the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet $5, and if it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You can build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style. FanDuel has you covered. The NFL season is almost here. The only question is, are you ready to play? Visit FanDuel.com/recap to download the FanDuel app today and get started.
Must be 21 plus and present in Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, permitted parishes only, Massachusetts, Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, or Wyoming. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com FanDuel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777, or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana, 1-800-522-4700, or visit ksgamblinghelp.com in Kansas, 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia, or call 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York, or visit oasas.ny.gov/gambling. Standard text messaging rates apply. Sports betting is void in Georgia, Hawaii, Utah, and other states where prohibited.
Okay, so today we are going to talk about something that might seem at first a little depressing, but I promise we are rainbows and butterflies here at the Recap Show. Our topic today is aging gracefully.
You couldn't.
I'm sorry. Our topic today is actually getting older in sports gracefully. And when you kind of know too much. And when does knowing too much make you jaded? How do you combat that? How do you live at the end of your career with the joy and naivety of a young player, yet the experience and the wisdom of someone who has a 15-year professional sports career? And the answer is we have no idea, but we're going to try to explore it today.
Yeah, let's explore it. I actually thought when you said that, it kind of reminds me of like when you thought your parents were like superheroes. If anybody ever thought that.
Yeah, but bring us with you because I do get it.
Yeah, so it reminded me actually of when I first started playing on the national team. And at the time, I was still in college, so I wasn't allowed to take part in certain meetings that had to do with, you know, how much you get paid or really any adult thing. I just got to play. And we always talked about this. We didn't even know you made money on the national team. We just were like, you get called up and it was the biggest dream in the world. And I remember at first kind of feeling a little left out that like everybody got to go in this meeting and, you know, I just was in my room. But then the first meeting that I was able to go into once I had graduated college, I remember sitting in that room, and at the time we were talking about striking, like, you know, everything. And I just remember like this whole shift, like I just wanted to not have ever gone in that room. Like I wanted to go back in time when you just played sport for sport because you loved it, not because you knew how much was getting paid or how much you should have gotten paid, fighting against your employee, all these things, being in the room with those players that were, you know, the players that knew too much, the 40-year-old players on the national team that had already lived the whole journey, right? You know, I was the young, naive one that thought, you know, when somebody said something to me, that was the truth and the whole truth, that there was no politics to the game. It was whoever was on the field was the best player to be out on the field, and that there wasn't any type of people making money off of you and you're not getting valued or paid. There was just
this whole story,
rainbows and butterflies.
This whole story just brought the image of you at like 7 years old with your low ponytail and your low socks and your giant calves, like in an Arsenal kit. Like it just brought that to my mind because that is the little girl that was inside of you your entire career trying to play. And I just imagine that little girl in the back of the U.S. women's national team CBA negotiation meeting being like, I did not sign up for this.
Yeah. Can you imagine? Like,
no, it's hard.
With the union lawyers up there talking and me just saying like, when do I get to go back to practice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's, but it is so real. And like, obviously that's a extreme image that I just put in everyone's head. But the reality is, you know, you started this saying when you imagined your parents were superheroes. Like what that brought up for me was this idea when I was young that I thought if I won, if I was great, then I would be happy. Then everyone in my life would be happy. Then everyone would be proud of me. Then I would be satisfied. And you learn a lot in your career, and we were both blessed to win a lot. And when you imagined your parents were superheroes, like what that brought up for me was this idea when I was young that I thought if I won, if I was great, then I would be happy. Then everyone in my life would be happy. Then everyone would be proud of me. Then I would be satisfied. And you learn a lot in your career, and we were both blessed to win a lot. when I think of when you know too much, I think actually what you learn is that win or lose, the sun rises the next day. And you have to live in your flesh with your life. And, you know, there is a good side to that. I learned when I lost, the sun rose and I was okay. But I learned when I won, none of my problems went away. And so this relentless dream I had to be happy manifested itself in soccer in a way that motivated me. It drove me. I was insatiable as I thought, when I win, then. And I remember we were talking to some younger players at our house a couple months ago, and I asked, well, are you happy? Because that's the gift I want to give the next generation. And they said, well, when I do this, I'll be happy. And we were both like, oh, honey, no. When you do nothing, you will be happy. Happiness isn't a reaction to a good event.
Yeah.
And that is wisdom. I think it is positive, but I think there's also an element of sadness to knowing that.
Almost knowing that is a little sad, though, because I think it's the dream of thinking that that's what's going to happen that motivates you to get there, right?
Yeah.
So it's like almost when you achieve your dreams, it's almost the saddest part. It's like the wanting to achieve your dreams that is probably the best part.
Totally. And like the positive is like the beauty's in the process. That's what you learn. Like I think after my entire career, what I'll tell you is like it was all worth it because the joy wasn't at the end. It was through every step. It's not saying there's no joy. But I kind of miss being so hungry that I couldn't sleep at night because I was dreaming of scoring goals, because if I scored those goals, everything in my life would be solved. I remember when I was a young player playing in Sweden, I could not sleep. I was an insomniac because I was dreaming of being on the U.S. women's national team. And that dream kept me up at night because it was going to solve all of my problems.
Yeah.
And that's what I look at and say, now I know too much. It didn't solve any of my problems. It actually handed me a whole new set of problems.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is that staying great is just as hard as becoming great.
Yeah. I miss not knowing in a lot of ways, because even when I look back at like 2019 and what we were playing for, you know, being like so much bigger and so much more important than playing for a World Cup, it's like just wanting to go to a World Cup to just play for a World Cup.
Yeah.
You know, and that sounds so messed up because it's like, no, you did so much more, you know? But it's like that idea that there was somebody like on that team that was probably just going to the World Cup to go to the World Cup, you know, that didn't have that type of pressure and those type of expectations.
And once you start down that road, you can't go back.
No.
Like now I know, you know, what's the salary cap? What's the minimum salary? How much my coach is making? I know all of these things and I'm like processing them.
How the business of sport works.
And
how the
we're
league
all
works.
being
How your team
screwed,
works.
and why you should be angry about this. And why aren't you fighting for that? And well, can you advocate for this person? And it's like, that is the entire purpose of my career. I have no doubt in my mind that I was only given a gift to play soccer so that I could help fight for progress and equity. And yet, there's something dreamy about running around on the field, not having any idea how much money anybody's making or what the media deal is or what's going on with the NWSL board. Yeah. But I think our generation of player did something really unique that I don't know if there's a model for. And, you know, if the theme of this is if you know too much, like we took that knowledge and we turned it into power, and we turned that power into change, and we did that. And now the next generation has a different set of opportunities and issues.
Yeah.
And in some ways we know just enough because that knowledge, that power, you're seeing it transition into a post-playing career in ways that our predecessors simply weren't able to do.
Yeah, I mean, our generation of players are owning NWSL teams. They're GMs of NWSL teams. They're coaches of NWSL teams. They're working for the NWSL PA. They're still playing.
Mm-hmm.
They're starting businesses. They're starting funds. Like, that's our generation of player. That's the cost. That's the privilege. That's the learnings of knowing too much.
Mm-hmm.
And by kind of being forced in a lot of ways into the progress that needed to happen in that moment that we were playing, it gave us the ability to now create these worlds that we're really proud because the next generation gets to live in them. The next generation gets to be valued in a way that we were stamping our feet all over the earth to be valued in, and now we get to create the worlds that we're really proud to pass down.
Yeah. And no, I mean, what you're saying is so true. And it's such an opportunity, and it's also such a burden. And that's the burden and responsibility of knowledge, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
And I don't look at the next generation and say like, I wish I could go back. But they do inspire me in different ways. I don't have a fair sample of what the next generation is like, right? I've got 7, 20, around 20-year-olds on my team that I basically judge the entire generation based off these people. But I think they're a little more free. They're not as fixed on like roles and identities. They're more accepting. They seem less self-conscious. They wear those little zit patches. I just stayed home for a week when I had a zit. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
And I think that they keep me young. And I think the other side of getting older as you play is I'm getting exposed to people around 16 years younger than me that I never would have unless I had kids at 16.
Yeah.
I'm never going to know this generation.
Yeah.
And I get to play right next to people who have that joy, that naivety, and I get to take that energy from them as much as I can try to give them wisdom or mentorship. Honestly, getting older as you play, the biggest gift, and I think you would agree, is the relationships that you build with the younger generation. There was an article that came out after the US Open about Venus Williams and her doubles partner that was, I don't know, they were like 20 years apart. And I read it and I like related to every line in it. It's like, I know pop music. Like I know what everyone's listening to.
Yeah.
And I get to see this whole group of people that are going to be the next leaders of, our world.
Yeah. I think that's really special. And I think that the thing that I see is almost like less grit in a way that I think I'm really like in a better way. I think we had grit that now puts us in therapy, right?
We normalized misery.
We normalized this aspect of sport that I don't think should ever belong, in sport. And we called it grit and we were praised for it. And it was like, if you had it, you went the furthest. But what I'm seeing, and I think you used the word freedom, is I'm actually seeing it be a little easier in the way that it should be. We are seeing younger players family plan when they're in the middle of their career and early on in their career. Like our generation, we had to sacrifice family. We had to sacrifice everything till the end, And now we're seeing like a whole generation be able to live completely different lives that they just want to live, and they're protected in their workplace in a way that we could have only dreamed of. We're seeing, young professionals being taken care of in ways that the league would have never been able to support them. So I think in a lot of ways, like not seeing that grit in the next generation, it's not that we're trying to make things easier for players. Like I think we need to change the vocabulary that we use for sport. Like there's hard work, there's toughness, right? But the things that were celebrated that were kind of, honestly, the things that our generation was celebrated for, in a lot of ways, we didn't want the next generation to have to go through to achieve their goals, to be the best. And I'm really proud because when we talk to this next generation, their experiences are completely different than ours in a way that I feel like is easier.
Do you then look at that generation and feel inspired by it?
I do. I think when I see these players, especially making money that they can be really proud of, that changes their family, that changes what they'll decide to do next, the value that's gone into women's sports, I think that's what I'm the most proud of.
Yeah. I mean, I personally feel like we're both so connected to the game in different ways, but this time in my career has been so special because of the role that I'm playing, almost like bridging what was and what is.
Yeah.
I remember, at the beginning of the season when Angel City moved to the new training facility, I thought like, this is why I'm here. I'm here because I worked for this, and this environment will help me to be the best, because this is the next generation of professionalism. And it almost felt like I was living in the future. And I think doing this show, talking to young players, mentoring, being in a locker room with people who are a lot younger than me as I try to age gracefully, has been such a valuable experience, that I know has given me a lot. And I think that it's definitely not easy. Even the way that I look in the mirror is different because I share a locker room with people in different life phase.
Yeah.
And we could talk about that for a whole episode because it's things like that you probably don't think about when you think about an aging athlete.
Yeah.
But there's the types of things that rise up as you change and as your life stage changes and as your body changes, and you have to rely more on different parts of your game and your life to be able to keep up.
Yeah. And I'm also inspired by like even seeing your relationship with Alyssa, because I think that, I had a lot of awesome mentors and players that I looked up to playing, but I never really saw something like that because I do still think we lived in such a generation of scarcity that if it was like, it's me or you, and I saw like just such a spirit of abundance in that. Like I don't get to play much longer. So I want to give you every bit of knowledge and understanding that I can while I stand on this grass with you so that you can go and take that and be great. So I think that like that's a little bit different when I saw the mentorship that existed in our generation compared to what I think I've seen now in this next generation, which is it feels more abundant. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Or is that just unique?
No, I think you're right because often athletes have to retire before they get most of their wisdom, right? Like you get your career, it gets cut when it gets cut.
Yeah.
Like some people get to choose, some people get injured, some people walk away. But like for whatever reason, like it is not normal to feel old at 36. Like I think I'm going to walk into the next phase of my life and be like, oh my God, I'm young. I've been feeling like a grandma. Like I thought I was on death's door.
It's so true.
But because I have been able to play a little longer and players are coming in even younger, the gap is now great enough that there's a lack of competition. And that's what the article said about the US Open was that every 20-year-old should have a friend in their 40s. And I need to make sure everyone knows I'm not yet in my 40s. It's important to me. But the reason is because, especially in female friendships where the patriarchy has caused some level of competitiveness and scarcity mindset, it's a really interesting and unique thing to play long enough that you are now with a group of people that are not your peers. And that part of competitiveness, it's like your spot or mine or your greatness or mine just melts away with that age gap. And that's a blessing.
I love that.
I was saying earlier, if I do this, then I'll be happy. And I think now looking at that same question, I wish I could sit here and say, now I'm just happy as I am, because that's what success is for me. It's contentment. And it's always been contentment. I've always known in my heart that the only thing I want is contentment. And it's just 150 million ways to try to get it. And no, I don't sit here with contentment. I probably sit here with a little more contentment than I did 15 years ago. And all success is to me is sitting here in 15 years later with more contentment than I have now.
That's beautiful. I feel like mine's a little bit like more tangible.
Okay, let's hear it.
Where I felt like when I was playing, like I wanted to play in a way like within my own craft that like I had never seen before. Like I wanted to elevate what a women's footballer could look like and what they could do on the field. Like that's what I wanted and that's what I was driven by. And now I feel like this next phase that I'm going in is like I still have that obsession over like the product, like what I want the product to look like what I want the football to look like. And I feel like that kind of like continues to motivate me, is wanting to see that continue to evolve.
Wait. Pause. This is so interesting. Okay, so when you were a player, you're saying your idea of success was you, Tobin, doing things to elevate the idea of what a female footballer could do by being very good or by unique skills. And now you, Tobin, as an entrepreneur and leader, your idea of success is creating players that are able to elevate the idea of female footballers, even though those aren't going to be you.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
I think even more so like not just like players, but like the whole product, like the whole team, like the whole ecosystem to be able to make that product as good as it can be. Because you always shared this idea, like if I had the exact same resources as Cristiano Ronaldo when he started, what type of player would I become? What would the product have looked like? What would have the product of Christen Press have looked like with
nature
that?
versus nurture?
Exactly. So like now I think what my obsession is, because like, you know, in the beginning, like the product is myself, right? And you can only take that product and evolve it as much as you get to play for, right? So now I think my obsession is like the overall product, which I guess you could call is like the business or the ecosystem of women's sports or women's football. And I think that's kind of my obsession, is to see that product be as good as it can be. And I don't want it to be limited by what we see in, you know, the general like version of sports. Like I want it to look like something unique and beautiful and like get the full potential out of something, because I think the potential of women's sports and women's athletes is still in its infancy. Like we were only just our abilities. Like imagine what the product could be with fully loaded,
That's
right?
a really cool thought.
Anyways, yeah, that's kind of my obsession. So we are bringing back a little ditty. It's actually an extension of us being bad gays.
Confession.
Oh,
Of two bad gays.
you're right. Confessions of two bad gays. And we decided to take it a step further in a little ditty called Finish the Lyrics. Are you excited?
I'm a little nervous because I'm wondering if this ditty is going to work if I cannot sing or hear tones.
It's going to be confessions of a lot of other things.
You can go first.
Okay. In Fast Car, where did Tracy Chapman want a ticket to?
I got a fast car. I'm gonna to get us out of here. Been working in a convenience store. What is convenience store? Wait, what's the question?
Where did Tracy Chapman want a ticket to?
Anywhere.
You got it. That's great, Kristen. I helped you out a little because I feel like I kind of put in a little bit of a song tone
I was
to
a little
it.
nervous because it was get us out of here, and then it was ticket. Should I try to sing mine?
Yeah.
No, you're gonna get this one. In this song, all Tegan and Sarah want to get is a little bit
Closer.
I teed you up a little bit
Closer.
closer.
I'm like,
I
closer,
only sang
again.
that so that you could sing.
Closer.
Can you say yours in
Maybe. Let's
No,
see how it goes.
Sing the word.
I gotta take it anywhere.
No, closer.
Closer.
See, that would have been so fun.
Okay. In Royals, what has Lord never seen in the flesh?
Can you sing a little?
I've never seen a
diamond.
Side note, Kristen, we were at a Lord concert, and I'm not really a Lord fan, but great artist. And she was singing a song, and I looked around, and everybody was crying. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? And I turned to Kristen to kind of like joke about it. And she was crying.
It was liability. I mean, if you don't relate to being a liability for the person you love, then you're not alive. Okay. I can't sing this one.
Okay.
In this Frank Ocean song, what flew around his room before you came? I see it's so hard if I don't sing.
I have to get this.
Okay, now I'll do it.
Yeah.
Banana flew around his room before you came. It's the first word of that, Tobin.
A tornado threw around. Yeah. Gosh.
We are back. We are good gays.
You doubted me. All right. In this song, where does Chapel Roan want to keep dancing?
At the Pink Pony Club? I was like, is it Nebraska? Is it Santa Monica?
Could be the convenience store.
Back at the convenience store with Tracy Chapman. Okay. What can't tow a bird believe you can tame? This was on Tobin's IG post. Look at her eyes. Humiliation. I knew that wouldn't help because I put songs I don't even know on my
It's probably
Instagram.
like your
Okay, I'll help
heart.
you. What?
Your heart?
My wild heart. Half a point. I'm still winning. Yes. Okay, you're up.
Okay. In this Muna song, what is she so soft like?
Muna,
I would have gotten this one.
sing.
Okay. Soft like da da na. I actually don't even think she knows this song. Like silk,
Pajamas.
soft like silk,
Silk. Pillows. Chiffon?
Yeah.
What's chiffon? Okay. So I didn't get a point.
Yeah. So now, what's the score?
You have 2.5,
and you have 2.
I think. Oh
no, you have 3.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So I could win it here. Here we go.
In Not Strong Enough, what is boy genius not strong enough to do?
Not the genius.
Okay, I have another idea. It's
Liza.
also a Sheryl Crow song. Let's go back to our...
are strong enough to be your man.
Yeah, you got it! And I have to win, but I like when you win. Who's boy genius? We know Sheryl Crow. I almost said, let's go back to the straight people.
Yep. Straight people songs for the win.
Our whole childhood, you know? Wait, I wanted my bonus.
There is no bonus.
Oh.
Do I have a bonus?
Yeah.
Oh, bring it on.
For Janelle Monáe, it's just the way you... Finish that lyric.
Just the way you are.
That is not Janelle Monáe. That's like Bruno Mars. Or like
It is Bruno Mars. Shout out, Bruno.
Okay, it's You Make Me Feel.
I don't know this song.
Neither do I. Okay, so half of our community loves that we're bad gays. Half of our community refuses to accept that we're bad gays or acknowledge. I wonder how this will affect the polls.
I just think we're being honest.
I actually think we know a lot more queer music than we know we know.
Like Sheryl Crow.
It even rhymes.